tonight for New Jersey Ballet. And for Harrison and Zac to make this beautiful new creation. And so we just wanted to talk a little bit about it and have our artists front and center for a few moments for you guys to hear about what they're doing there. So Harrison, tell us a little bit about your ballet and your inspiration for it and your music.
Okay, well, Maria saw a ballet I made back in March with New York City Ballet's Choreographic Institute, and I did a piece of music by Henry Purcell. And I originally picked that music because I saw a really old, it's from the 1980s. I'm 29.
It's really contemporary.
I saw a Mark Morris rendition of Dido and Aeneas, so I actually picked that music. And I created something with Zac, actually, and the costumes really were what informed the ballet for me. And then Maria saw that, you commissioned me, and
we saw it on Instagram.
You saw it on Instagram.
Yeah. So I got a message.
Not even live, just Instagram.
I'm gonna give a little. So Donya and I were in the audience in this very small institute, and it was a very special moment because I guess it was the first time that a lot of the big supporters of the ballet, New York City Ballet, since the beginning of COVID, had been allowed into
see
the
live
studio
humans.
to see live humans in the studio. So we were sitting there not knowing really what to expect, and you had done this workshop over a few days,
4 days.
the first 4 days, and kind of the few of us that were able to be there, kind of like felt it. We knew it, so we got really excited.
It was really special.
And then you saw it on social media, and then you messaged Harrison.
And then, this is March, and I'm a music lover, so I have a plethora of classical music, and I pretty much only listen to classical music that I really love and that I've kind of been compelled to choreograph to, but because of my schedule as a principal dancer in New York City Ballet, I never really have time to explore these avenues. So now I do, and I found a piece of Bach Violin Concerto No. 1. So it's amazing, it's his first violin concerto. You can kind of hear the youth in it, and it's perfect. It's 15 minutes long, it's 3 movements, and if I can compare it to anything, it kind of would be like my equivalent of a Concerto Barocco, if you have any idea what that is in New York City Ballet, which is kind of our staple piece and one of his earlier works. So something that I really resonated with about it is that there's this huge simplicity in the music, even though it's really grand, and I thought that it was kind of really appropriate for me as kind of early choreographer to pick something that felt kind of academic in a sense, but had a lot of emotion, and it's very twisty, and it sounded like the dresses, if that makes sense, the way I see it in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know that Maria's company is quite small, so in that respect, I wanted to pick something where I could, really not push the girls too much in the piece. It's all women in this ballet. There has to be a stamina threshold, as a dancer, I know that you can essentially die midway through a ballet, so I'm trying not to do that to everybody. And the piece is perfect because it shoots out of a cannon. You have 6 minutes of just like landscape, and then of course it jolts back up, and then it's over, and the curtain will go down, and you want to see the next one. But I'm really, that's kind of,
keep wanting more.
That's kind of it, and I find that like I went in, we started on Monday, and whilst I've listened to the music maybe 1,000 times, I live on 73rd Street actually, I walk to the theater every day and I listen to it maybe 6 times every day, back and forth. So I'm so familiarized with the music, but I never really kind of anticipate what I want it to look like, I just know what it sounds like. So getting into the studio on Monday was really fantastic because not only did I have 4 seconds to pick the girls and see them for the first time, it was really just amazing, and I was in the room and instantly just so inspired by your company. I think the dancers are at a caliber that is so beyond what people can even imagine, and I was really surprised that this company is just right there, and being in one of the top companies in the world, it was just really humbling for me. To be in a place where there are people who have so much spirit and so much soul. And I think something that is really exciting about this ballet is that the dancers are just so ready to dance. And I think that is so much of the formula to creating an amazing piece. And I am just so inspired already by you guys. You guys are so beautiful, so smart, so musical, so artistic, so ready. So I think my inspiration, honestly, is being in the studio and seeing the women and seeing their just innate ability and beauty and having that music just be what rides me. So it's all there, and it's just kind of day by day. We have 2 weeks to make it, and I'm super excited, and I hope it's gonna be good.
Zac, tell us about the costumes, because we have two of our beautiful dancers here wearing them.
Well,
and your inspiration on these.
My inspiration was like as simplistic as possible and fluidity, and something that has, just kind of.
Bring it on out.
You can come out.
I'll say this. I mean,
something that has movement to it. I mean, these were two prototypes that I did for this small piece.
I really love, I don't know if you're familiar with the ballet, we're actually doing it right now in a repertoire called Vienna Waltzes. And Zac has been educating me immensely in fashion. I'm getting my huge education right now. A dress cut on the bias. So essentially, there's an enormous amount of fabric in these dresses. It doesn't seem like it, but there is. But the way they move, if you do a little spin, they're just so light. And actually, Megan McCroney's here. She danced in my ballet, and they're just so light, right? I mean, it's pretty light, the material. We wanted something that felt really dancey, because also being a dancer, I had been in so many ballets where a designer's like, here, put this on, and you're like, So ultimately, I think it's something where the women feel really free, right?
Well, I thought the power of having, we started with the ballet with 5 women, right? And repetition, but subtleties of character of a group of women, right? And then seeing that group of movement come together, move apart. We played with 5 different colors, shades of navy into black, and a dégradé, so that they could move and form, and that every kind of movement kind of takes shape, right? If you have a bare stage and you have dancers, their movement kind of builds the form of the stage, right? And that's kind of what I've learned over the last 2 years, watching a lot of Balanchine at New York City Ballet, and learning that.
Getting my education.
Getting his education and learning movement and the power of that, right? And then understanding kind of the power of having potentially 15 dancers on stage in similar looks, highlighting their individuality, but also the collective of movement. So that's
that to me was when I saw this the first time at Choreographic Institute. Seeing these costumes together and everyone looking in unison was really incredible, because the movement of the fabric so beautifully reflected your choreography, and it was extraordinary, and I can't wait to see it, both of your works on the stage. And for that, Maria Koreski is the new artistic director of she's really poised to do some extraordinary things, really, really close to New York City. And Maria, tell us a little bit about how you decided to commission this and what you guys are doing.
Well, first, I want to thank Donya for this incredible evening, for hosting
I'm so
this
happy.
evening. She was instrumental in my first year as acting artistic director of New Jersey Ballet, and it was a huge success. And now I'm artistic director, and just to have you by my side and the support and friendship has meant so much to me. So I can't thank you enough. So thank you so much. Thank you. So, like Harrison said, I saw a literally 4-minute clip on Instagram, and I was like, oh my God. I had no idea. You don't know. Everyone has this secret little hidden talent that you don't know about. I saw him as a student at the School of American Ballet, and I was like, he's gonna be a star. Lo and behold, he's a principal dancer in New York City Ballet. Okay, I'm not saying that I can pick him out, but I really, literally was like, this is talent, and I was so blown away. The costumes, everything was so beautiful, and the movement. And when I arrived at New Jersey Ballet, there were very few men in the company, and that also attracted me to this ballet because it was all women. I thought that was very powerful, and our women in the company are so strong. They're all unique, they're all individual, and they bring something like this amazing artistry. They work so hard, and coming from a huge company to this small company, I can't even tell you what these dancers are doing and what you don't have the same thing that I had growing up as a New York City Ballet dancer. So I'm so I can't even tell you how hard they work for not as much as I had as a dancer. And I'm watching them every day going, oh my God, and they're so talented, and they're every day they're just like, giving everything they have, and I know that you've already seen that, and that's why he's saying what he said, because he was in there one day and worked with them and saw
2 hours.
2 hours, yeah, and you could see that, and it's a different energy, and I, that's obviously my hope, is to bring, great energy onto the stage, and we're really excited about the program because we're also bringing Who Cares, which obviously from my roots as New York City Ballet, but the company had performed it many years ago, so we're kind of bringing that back, and Debbie Wingert is setting it for us this week, and it's been extraordinary to watch her in the studio, and I know like they've learned it this week, and just to kind of already see what's going to happen on that stage, it's really exciting, and I know that you've had a great experience working with them, so thank you so much.
It's been glorious. It's been 10 hours or give or take, and they're just so eager and receptive. They're like drinking it all in, and we're making it theirs, and that's the best thing I could ever do.
And it's exactly what we need, making all these unique dancers who they are. They're bringing their own artistry to the stage, which is so important to me. And we're also doing Hallelujah Junction, which is Peter Martin's ballet, which was done on was actually originally choreographed on Royal Danish, and now we're doing it. And I felt that as he was my director, somebody that gave me so much, and I wanted to bring one of his ballets because, first of all, there's a lot of energy. We're trying to get people excited in New Jersey because it's not that easy. So I wanted to have a really great program. So we're opening the program with that, and and I also thought, how wonderful would it be to get him back in the studio and kind of work with these dancers. Because I think that he has so much to offer, and I learned so much from him, and I hope that we can do that down the road in a few weeks when everyone learns the ballet. And obviously, obviously this is only my second year with New Jersey Ballet, but to have couture designs is like incredible. These dancers are so lucky, and I'm so grateful that you guys have taken on this project, and I can't wait to see the final product. And I hope that all of you will come November 19th at the Mayo Performing Arts Center. So thank you so much for being here.
I just want to say one more thing, following up on that. Ultimately, my goal with this ballet is to put on stage what I don't see enough of for myself as a dancer. And I have had the great pleasure at New York City Ballet as being a lot of choreographers' muse. I've been in the studio for years in so many different pieces, and whilst I think so many of them are fantastic, I'm at heart a classicist, and while my ballet isn't particularly classical ballet, the structure of it is very much so classical. So just putting that out there, really what I'm trying to bring to the stage in general is just beauty, and I find that today we're trying to always push into the modern, and we're trying to push into kind of the grab attention, and that is not what I'm trying to accomplish here. It's much more subtle. So that's, I think, an important thing to know. And ultimately my dream here is I want this ballet to go elsewhere as well. And I think that there's a real opportunity here, because not only are there very, very, very few ballets where there's only women, which I think is super important. I'm obviously not a woman, but I am really just kind of honored to be somebody that can usher in a performance that doesn't exist really, even on the stages in New York. We have ballets, Balanchine, that did many where it's all women and one man. We're not adding that guy in, so I'll be on the other side. But at any rate, I just want to say that I really do believe that I don't know what my work will ultimately be, but my goal is to really push out a piece of work that can be used everywhere and also be something that supports your company. So I think there's hopefully going to be a lot of life behind this ballet, and I think it's exciting for both of us because it's the beginning of a new direction for you, no pun intended, and it's a new direction for me. So, everybody, whatever, your reason for being here is, I just want to say I'm so grateful to you, and I think that this is a really exciting moment, not just for your company, not just for me, but for dance. and I'm really excited that everyone can be a part of it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.